Hello and welcome to another episode of Optic Trade Debates.
Hello,
I'm Andras.
my name is Theodor.
Today we're going to talk about another topic. To be more specific, we're going to be discussing categories, two categories that you found on our webpage, and that is handgun scopes and scout scopes. And we're going to be talking about the differences between them, since we get a lot of questions on the topic. I went over our emails and I gathered up some of the most common ones. And let's just start by, let's say, what defines a scout scope and what defines a handgun scope?
Very similar, I would say, parameters. So
Yes.
The first thing what every handgun scope and scout scope needs is an extended eye relief. So with a normal scope, you have an eye relief of around 9 millimeters, so like this. And with handgun scopes, this doesn't work because when you hold the handgun and have a scope on it, usually a revolver, it's quite far away from your face. The same with scout gun. The scout scopes are mounted in front of the action on the barrel. So again, you haven't really extended eye relief. So if you're talking with normal scopes, the eye relief goes from 70 to 90 millimeters. With scout scopes and handgun scopes, it goes from 30 to 50 centimeters.
Oh yeah.
So from 300 to 500 millimeters. So really extended eye relief. So in this aspect, they're really almost the same, almost equal. What is also very, I would say, common to all these scopes is that they are quite small and that their mass and size is it's among the smallest. Like this.
This is a handgun scope here, but it's quite big for a handgun scope.
This
right?
one is really big for handgun scopes.
This one is
a
normal,
typical
yeah.
handgun scopes.
So you can see the difference.
And here we come to the main difference compared to the scout scopes. Every handgun scope can be used as a scout scope because it has an extended eye relief and you're able to mount it in front of your action on the barrel. And you're able to see a clear image when you're looking through it at a distance of 30 to 50 centimeters.
The eye relief is the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is different is that with scout scopes they're usually a little bit bigger, heavier, and they usually have variable magnification. Some handgun scopes like this Leupold 2.5 to 8 by 32. This one is variable magnification handgun scope, but majority, all of them are fixed power, like this 4 by 28. So with scout scopes, majority of scout scopes are variable magnification scopes. So this is the main difference. They are a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier, and they usually have a variable magnification. All of them have an extended eye relief, and in some cases where is also a difference with handgun scopes, a lot of handgun scopes have their parallax set to 25 meters or 35 meters, while with scout scopes it's usually at 100 yards or 100 meters, usually 100 yards. So if we go, what is the same? The same is extended eye relief, small size and mass, but what is different, handgun scopes are even smaller, even lighter, and they usually have the parallax set to closer distances than scout scopes.
What about the eye box? I heard that handgun scopes have a forgiving parallax.
Yeah.
Eye box.
Eye
So
box.
forgiving eye box, meaning that you can put them a little bit front, a little bit back, and you still see the perfect image.
Yeah.
Does that apply to scout scopes as well?
Yeah.
As well. Okay.
So all of these scopes have a really, I would say, forgiving eye box. That means that they are not really sensible to the eye position, and this is great because no matter if you go a little bit in front or a little bit behind the perfect spot where your eye should be, you still have a clear image. So in this aspect, they're really nice to shoot and really comfortable because it doesn't matter if your eye is 35 centimeters away from the eyepiece lens or it's 50 centimeters away, you still have a clear image. And this is better than with all conventional scopes, either tactical or hunting scopes, where even if you move your eye for a couple of millimeters, it can be a problem that you don't have a clear image anymore. With scout and handgun scopes, this is not the case. Even though I also have to say that regarding recoil,
yes,
they're all recoil proof because we know that rifles, they kick hard, but also the revolvers in which these handgun scopes they also kick hard, even if they are magnum, especially if they are magnum caliber revolvers. So basically they're really similar. The main difference is the size, because the scout scopes can be a little bit bigger, and they are meant to shoot a little bit further away than with handguns. And this is the reason that the parallax is sometimes differently set in handgun scopes and in scout scopes. And it's really easy. You are almost never able to put a scout scope on your handgun because it is going to be too big and too heavy, even though the eye relief is appropriate, while you can put any handgun scope also on your rifle, but you will usually have problems if you shoot a little bit farther away because of the parallax. So if you put a handgun scope on your rifle and shoot on 150 meters, it can be a problem because with handgun scopes the parallax is set to a closer distance.
Yeah, so you said that handgun scopes are commonly mounted on revolvers, and I bet that this is the reason for the silver color, so that it looks nicely with the revolver.
Yeah, a lot of revolvers is in stainless steel
of course.
coloring. So
this is common with handgun scopes, the silver color.
Not with scout scopes. Scout scopes are usually black, because usually scout rifles are also black.
Of course,
so this is also one difference, but it's not so important one.
Should you, when purchasing, of course, I think it's important to pay attention to price, right? It shouldn't be too cheap, especially with handgun scopes.
Yeah, with handgun scopes, if it's too cheap and you put it on some really hard-kicking revolver, it will not last long.
Yeah, of course.
And this is the reason why it's better to buy a Leupold or Weaver or some established brand, and you can have such a scope for, I would say, 10 years, 20 years, it will still work. While with all those really affordable ones, it can be a problem. With scout scopes, it's, I would say, a little bit less problematic, because you have a lot of scout rifles which are not that powerful. But still, with optics, the more you pay, the better quality you get. So it's never good to save money on optics. I think we covered most of the questions.
I do think we covered most of the questions, but in case we forgot anything, you are more than welcome to leave a comment in the comment section, or send us an email on our email address and you'll receive a reply.
And if you like the video, just please hit subscribe, and see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.